Our madrasa are stopping meritorious Muslim children from becoming doctors, engineers, and really giving wing to their ambition. Is an education devoid of science and math holding them back from a bright future? Is it a violation actually of their right? Is it depriving them of modern education? As per the Chief Minister of Assam, it is. Himanta Biswa Sarma, never one to shy away from controversy, yesterday said that the word Madrassa should cease to exist. For him, the term stands for depriving children of their right to choose their future by pushing them into the dark ages.
भाई साहब, ये मद्रासा शब्द ही विलुप्त हो जाना चाहिए। जब तक ये मद्रासा दिमाग में घूमते रहेगा, तब तक बच्चा कभी डॉक्टर इंजीनियर नहीं बन सकता है। अगर बच्चा को आप स्कूल में जाने का समय आप पूछ लेता है कि बेटा तुम मद्रासा जा रहा है, तुम जुनाब बनेगा, इस रास्ते से तुम डॉक्टर नहीं बनेगा, तो कोई बच्चा मद्रासा नहीं जाएगा। मद्रासा में तो दाखिल किया जाता है वायलेटिंग ह्यूमन राइट्स, किसलिए वो रास्ता बंद हो जाता है। तो आप जरूर कुरान पढ़ाइए, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा पढ़ाइए साइंस, मैथ्स, बायोलॉजी, बोटानी, जियोलॉजी। तो इसीलिए मद्रासा सब विलुप्त हो जाना चाहिए, नॉर्मल एजुकेशन होना चाहिए। और घर में आप खूब आपका धर्म पोथी पढ़ाइए, पूरा 2 to 3 घंटा धर्म पोथी पढ़ाइए, लेकिन स्कूल में ऐसा ही शिक्षा दीजिए जो शिक्षा से आपका बेटा डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर बन सकता है, प्रोफेसर बन सकता है, साइंटिस्ट बन सकता है। जो आप बोल रहे हैं मुसलमान लोग कुरान कंठस्थ कर रहा है, तो इसलिए उनमें बहुत ज्यादा मेरिट होता है। ये सारा मुसलमान भाई हिंदू था, कोई एज ए मुसलमान ये धरती में नहीं आया, भारत का धरती में सब हिंदू ही था।
Now, Himanta's party also has wholly endorsed what he said. The BJP said the choice is simple. India needs more Nikhat Zareens, not hate preachers like Zakir Naik.
Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, is batting for modernity and opportunity. But on the other hand, you have the practitioners of vote bank politics and cynical Islamophobia lobby that wants Muslims to be trapped forever in the prism of madrasas and identity. They want more Zakir Naiks, whereas the country needs more Nikhat Zareens. And that is what Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma is advocating for. That Muslims should get an opportunity, access to education that will allow them to become doctors, engineers, lawyers. And for that, they need modern education. They need progressive education.
हमें ऐसी एजुकेशन देनी है जो साइंटिफिक हो, जिसका आधार हो, जहाँ रीजनिंग हो। तो वो साइंटिफिक एजुकेशन जो यहाँ की एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है उसके अनुसार ही आ सकती है, ना कि मदरसों के में जो एक ब्रीडिंग ग्राउंड है, यहाँ पर जो है कम्युनलिज्म पढ़ाया जाता है, यहाँ पर दूसरे धर्मों को नीचे दिखाने की बात जो होती है। और ये हमने अभी जो एक चर्चा चल रही है पूरी दुनिया में सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर, उससे ये बिल्कुल स्पष्ट हो रहा है।
However, for the opposition, this attack on madrasas is born out of prejudice and Islamophobia. Listen in.
इस वक्त कंपटीशन चल रहा है कि हमें गुजरात मॉडल हिंदुस्तान को बनाना है, हमें उत्तर प्रदेश मॉडल बनाना है। उनका इस वक्त मुकाबला हो रहा है एक दूसरे के साथ कि कौन ज्यादा से ज्यादा मुसलमानों को तंग करेगा, मुसलमानों को खुदा ना खास्ता नेस नाबूद करने में पहल करेगा।
They want to destroy whatever language, culture, faith, practice, way of life of Muslim. Every aspect of Muslims are being attacked by the RSS people.
He is a chief minister, he is free to take that decision. But he has no respect for the Constitution of India. More than that, I will not comment, because he is a new convert to BJP and he talks all sort of things to please, like sycophants, which I have nothing to say about it.
All right, joining us now on the show, we have Negat Abbas, political analyst, Mohammad Asif Hussain Sohail, political analyst, advocate Tala Amir Rashadi, spokesperson of Rashtriya Ulema Council, and Tausif Ahmed, lawyer and political analyst. I want to start by asking you, Negat Abbas, why should madrasas cease to exist? The Congress is saying everyone has right to education, even the children who go to madrasas.
No, absolutely, Padmaja. Who's opposing it? All what we're saying right now is that Madrassa in the modern world is absolutely like communicating over letters when we have the facility of the mobile phone. And I'm not opposing the Islamic education here, but we need to understand and we all need to come together against the forced propaganda to ignore the modern education, the need of the modern education in the Muslim society. What we are seeing today is that people are obligating, there are lots of clowns in Muslim society, and I want to say, mark them as clowns because they are obligating the children to, take the education which is the need of the generation, which is the need of the hour, which is the modern education. They want to obligate and send them to the madrasas and let them be the kueka members, because that is going to stop the development and prosperity of the Indian Muslim person.
Why make anyone kueka member?
It is not limited to only females, Padmaja. Let me tell you, when people are going to madrasas, to literally trying to create an alternative.
Okay, let's first bring in Talha Amir Rashadi on this. Why would you want to use a pager if you have a smartphone?
I can only call it a ridiculous statement and nothing else. As far as the statement of the Chief Minister is concerned, I would like to say that this is highly objectionable, and at the same time it's pretty much shameful that the Chief Minister of a state who has taken oath on the Constitution of India is clearly violating the basic structure and the fundamental structure of the Constitution. But at the same time, it's understandable for him to criticize the madrasa, to condemn the madrasas, to try and humiliate the madrasas because the thing is that his political ideology, the political ideology to which he belongs, and the godfather of those political ideologies.
Sir, right now, you are just analyzing. Answer a simple question. When you have Nigat Abbas's question to you was, when you can have modern education, why would you not want the children to avail of it?
I'll come to
That's the question.
I'll come to that point, but at least let me have my comment on the topic of the debate. At least listen to my comment on the topic of the debate, and I'll answer Ms. Nigat also. Let me complete. Give me 15 seconds. The problem with the Chief Minister of Assam is not an individual's problem. The problem lies with the ideology that he belongs to.
Sir, right now we are analyzing the problem of madrasas, not the problem of Himanta Biswa Sarma. Let's do a separate show on analyzing him. Right now, let's talk about madrasas.
Give me 15 seconds. ठीक है, मैं आ रहा हूँ.
Sir, 2 minutes से बोल रहे हैं आप 15 सेकंड मांग रहे हैं.
आपने 15 सेकंड तो आपने उसमें इंटरप्ट कर दिया. चलिए, मैं बस ये कह रहा हूँ, right from the first Minister of Education of India, independent India, right from Maulana Abul Kalam Azad to the missile man of India, Dr. APJ Abul Kalam. All these people were the product of madrasas. Veer Abdul Hamid, who destroyed 8 tanks of Pakistan, was a product of madrasa. I am a product of madrasa.
Okay.
This is what you are talking about, pagers, and you are talking about cell phones.
Nigat Abbas, quick rebuttal. When you have such great people coming out of madrasas, then what's your problem?
No, first of all, these people only have one example. Obviously, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was, studied in madrasa, but I need to know what he did not choose an alternative madrasa. He did not choose an alternative for only education system. Why can't we have the Islamic education when we are the Islamists? We are the people, following that religion. We are the people who know the most of Islam. Then why can't we teach our children Islam at our home? Why do we need to have a separate school for it? Why do we need to stop people?
We can have Saraswati Shishu Mandir, we can have Vidya Bharati, we can have all the RSS affiliated schools, but we cannot have madrasas.
My question is different. How many people can you name on tips? Can you count on? My friend, can you count how many people can you name who have studied in madrasas and become IAS, IPS, doctors? Then you can literally count on tips if you have some, and also they will be the people who are also going to the schools. That is the point. When you can, teach the child Islamic education at your home.
Okay.
I am also studying. I am also a Muslim. I am practicing my Islam at my home. Why do I need to have a separate school for that? I don't need to leave my modern education. And also, Padmaja, very important point. I'll take 10 seconds more. That what is being taught at the madrasas from the handful of clowns is that you should not have modern education. You should not wear such clothes. You should oppose the kafirs. The kafirs are easy. That is which is why we are standing against right now. Being a Muslim, I'm standing against that.
Talha is saying that this is rubbish. He's taught no such thing. He was taught amazing things.
I'm from a Madrassa and I'm wearing a Peter England shirt. I'm a graduate of Madrassa, I'm wearing a Peter England shirt. I'm a clown. Do I sound a clown to her?
The man is allowed to do that. The man is allowed to do that. Why is the woman not allowed to do that? Why am I not allowed to wear a skirt and go out? Why am I not allowed to wear a cut sleeve and go out?
That's your individual choice, Motarma. You can wear a skirt, you can
Why am I not allowed to wear a bindi and go out?
That's your individual
Why am I
choice.
not allowed to have no hijab and go there?
My din is for me and your din is for you. You can become
Okay, interesting point that has been raised by Talha, Tuhin Sinha, that instead of doing away, we are always saying that we need more places of education. There are more children and many of them do not have access, especially in the remote areas. How about modernizing madrasas? Instead of cracking down on them, modernize them.
Padmaja, Sharia fanboys will always have a problem with progressive outlook and a progressive views coming from somebody. So instead of applauding Himanta Biswa ji, you need to understand that it was Modi ji who had once said that his vision for a Muslim student is holding the Quran in one hand and the laptop on the other hand. But unfortunately, despite our best attempts to modernize the madrasas, the finding is that they continue to be a hub of radicalization. And today, unfortunately, Islamic radicalization is one of the biggest problems facing the world. So in the absence of a formal course, in the absence of something which can be monitored, we have no idea what is being taught. And, it is with the best of intentions that Himanta Biswa made that suggestion. We want the Muslim students, young students, to be extremely competitive. We want them to become the best of doctors, scientists, which unfortunately, over the last few decades, over the last 7 odd decades, has not happened to the extent that it should have happened. So I think instead of appreciating that, it is the Muslim leadership of this country which has failed the Muslim population.
Okay.
And, and today a part of and you can imagine the courage of Mr. Himanta Biswa. Assam has a 36% Muslim population. So it needs a lot of courage and conviction to make that statement. And trust me, without a certain portion of Muslim votes coming to the BJP in Assam, with that kind of percentage, 36%, we would not be winning. So we have the best interests of the Muslim community in mind. It is people like Talha who have, let down the community. It is
Tausif Ahmed, there seems to be a bit of an irony here that on the one hand you say the BJP wants to keep Muslims backward. Then you're saying, why is the BJP forcing Muslim children to go into better schools? Isn't that contradictory?
No, if we are to look at the statement given by Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, prima facie it looks like he is exposing his prejudiced mentality and Islamophobic mentality. But we have heard Tuhin batting so heavily for him, then if we have to give him a benefit of doubt, then what the Assam Chief Minister must do is recognize Madrassa as an educational board like we have in West Bengal, in Uttar Pradesh, and there are other madrasa boards, just like any other, institution of education, and modernize it. We already have in Bengal madrasa board where general stream of studies, like science and mathematics and history and geography, all of these subjects are being taught alongside the Islamic teachings, and there is nothing wrong in it. And students of madrasas, they are joining civil services, they are becoming IAS, IPS officers, and state civil services entrance they are cracking, they are becoming engineers. So instead of the BJP leaders is high
that you mentioned that, sir, and you gave the example of Bengal, because on this point, let me quote to you that on the 16th of March 2022, the West Bengal Police's Special Task Force arrested a madrasa teacher from Bakra for his connection with Islamic fundamentalist organization Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh. And this is 2022.
Yes,
Before that, sir, 2019, 3rd of July, the center said that terrorist groups are using madrasas in Bengal for radicalization. This is your example of Bengal, and I am telling you.
There are
Sir, Abhi, you said that madrasas in West Bengal are an example to be held up to the world. And I am quoting to you how the West Bengal STF has arrested madrasa teachers.
And they're doing so well. unless you see, on one hand, you cannot just continue demonizing madrasas.
How is it demonizing the West Bengal STF arrested?
Reform. Oh, I want to modernize madrasas. You are demonizing. I'm sorry to say, Padmaja, you are demonizing.
How?
When I'm giving the example
how am I
of
demonizing
Madrasa
if
board
I'm
in
quoting
Bengal,
to you what the West
Madrasa
Bengal
board
police
in
did?
Uttar Pradesh, Madrasa board in other states, and I am giving us advice to the so overtly prejudiced mind and prejudiced mentality of Himanta Biswa Sarma that he must
Madrasa board in every state ne ka
contrary to what he was saying, he must recognize the Madrasa board and
recognize
modernize
Madrasa board ne ka
and in fact, at present, in madrasas they do not only teach Quran, they also teach other general studies, their general subjects.
Abbas is my name. Have you changed your name to Nikat Abbas? Padmaja has asked me to speak. That's what my question is, Padmaja, that when we already have a systematic, organized education system, when we talk about equality, equal education system for everybody living in the country, then why do we need to have an alternative? Why do we need to have a religious constitution and an institution to study? Why are you restricting the students? Why are you restricting the willing children to go and have normal, modern
section of society? Equality does not always have to be seen from the prism of religion. It has to be seen.
Okay, so would you agree? Just a second, Nikat Abbas, would you agree that let the government not fund it, but madrasas can carry on? If somebody, Tausif Ahmed, wants to run a madrasa, why not?
No, that's
his money, his wish.
No, Padmaja, that's not scary. That's exactly what you just quoted. What's happening in the name of Madrasa is very dangerous for the country. There are lots of people, there are lots of countries and, terrorist organizations who are funding it. The government will not fund. They will seek the funding from the terrorist organization and there will be manufactured factory of the terrorism and terrorists. That's exactly what.
You see, people like Nikat Abbas does not understand.
Okay, let me bring in Mohammad Asif Hussain Sohail also.
We have heard Himanta Biswa Sarma saying that the word madrasa should cease to exist.
And then in the same breath he also said that it is violative of the child's rights, sir. Okay, I do not understand.
Because that has a Persian origin.
Okay,
I must change his name as well.
Okay, in the same breath he is also saying that I want the children to have the best education. So I don't see how that is Islamophobic. Respond to this, Asif Sohail.
Because it has Persian origin.
The Chief Minister says, and actually a number of people have said before this, not just BJP, several educationists have said that you want to have religious education, do it at home. You come to school, you learn subjects.
Yes.
You should get an education.
No, who
teach
is
religion at home?
Biswa Sarma to dictate this
Mr. Sohail,
to a particular section of community?
But why are you gagging Mr. Sohail? Let him also answer, no?
What Muslims should...
Don't take away his right to answer. Mr. Sohail, learn religion at home. Get an education in school.
I'm not surprised with the state university students. Like, there is no person who has seen in IAS, IPS, UPSC. We have many aspirants and they came from the madrasa, they cracked the UPSC. See, when it comes to the Assam, see, what the madrasa is actually, you need to know about. The madrasa, it provides a free education. When the government failed to provide, the madrasas are providing. In madrasa, they are giving a modern education as well. It's not the Islamic education.
Sir, but nobody is failing to provide education. The Chief Minister is saying, I will provide education to the children who are going to madrasas. He's not saying, unko utha ke ghar pe rakh do.
He will provide, tell him to first fill the vacancies of 314 teachers who are not there in the Assam school. Assam के स्कूल में 314 स्कूल में टीचर्स नहीं है. पहले उनको टीचर्स को लेके आने के लिए बताइए. Then we can talk about the madrasa and I strongly condemn what he said that we are all Hindus and they have converted. उनको थोड़ा सा अपना दिमाग का इलाज कराना चाहिए. He is trying to spread the hatred.
Madrasas have produced. He is saying that in fact many Hindus also go.
Madrasa.
This is a party of the Razakars which will never accept anything Indian. That is the problem.
अगर आप उनकी स्पीच को ध्यान से सुनिए, वो कह रहे हैं कि बच्चों के लिए ये जरूरी है कि वो गेट एक्सपोज टू द मोस्ट साइंटिफिक नॉलेज एंड साइंटिफिक एजुकेशन। आपको उससे भी प्रॉब्लम है। आप चाहते हैं उनको दकियानुसी एजुकेशन मिले, आप चाहते हैं कि वो घेटों में रहे, वो चाह रहे हैं आप लोग को मेन स्ट्रीम करना, जो असादुद्दीन ओवैसी कभी नहीं कर सकते। He is trying to mainstream.
In fact, AIMIM chief Assad-Uddin Owaisi has also just reacted, saying while Sanghis were acting as British agents, madrasas were at the forefront of freedom movement. Many madrasas do teach science, math and social studies besides Islam. Unlike Shakha's Nikat Abbas, he says they teach self-respect and empathy. Illiterate Sanghis won't understand. Why did Hindu reformer Raja Ram Mohan Roy study in a madrasa? Nikat Abbas. Assad-Uddin Owaisi is saying.
See, Assad-Uddin Owaisi says a lot of things which are very much illogical. We don't need to react on that. What I want to say, when Tosi was disturbing me while I was speaking, that the most dangerous when a madrasa is not recognizing them, and most of the madrasas, jo gali gali mein khule hue na Padmaja, they are not recognized, and that is where the problem arises. That is where from the terrorism arises, because when we stop the funding of these madrasas, when they're not being funded, when they're not being recognized, what they want to do and what they do is actually get funded from the terrorist organization from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and the manufacturing factory of terrorists, resides in India. Then that is what we need to stop. I am not standing against this Islamic education. That should be done. I am going to, I have a daughter. I am going to teach her both these things. I am going to teach her Sanatani Dharma also, because my husband is a Hindu, and I want to teach her Muslim. I want to give her Muslim education also. But I am not going to stop her from going to the school for that. The timings clash. The madrasas and the modern education timing schools clash. That is where the problem arises. The girls and the children stop going to the schools and choose madrasas.
This is the hypocrisy of the BJP. This is the hypocrisy of the BJP. The Yogi government a couple of days back has got a resolution that the madrasas wouldn't be given any aid, the madrasas wouldn't be recognized. The Assam government has already done that. The MP government is planning to do that. The Karnataka government is planning to do that. They have, at the same time, the Gujarat government has introduced Bhagavad Gita from 6 to 12 in their syllabus. The Assam and the Karnataka government is thinking about doing that.
Okay, Tuhin Sena wants to respond to you.
These are very good decisions. Unnecessary funding. Just 1 second. Unnecessary funding to unrecognized madrasas should have stopped long back. It is one of the remaining evils of the Congress ecosystem that unrecognized madrasas still continue to get funds. So if certain state governments like Gujarat, like UP, have stopped funding, it's an exceptional move.
Okay.
And Salah may not accept what Himanta Biswa ji said about the Hindu antecedents, but fact is,
these
10% of the Muslims
unconstitutional
have been converted. You ask anybody.
Okay, last 10 seconds, Nikat Abbas. Last 10 seconds, Nikat Abbas. Yes.
He has written many madrasas to teach science, maths and social studies besides Islam. That's exactly what my point is. When you want to teach science, other normal subjects in madrasas, why do you need to have an Can't you let your children go in these schools? Because you will consider the other students coming from other religions as kafirs. That's where you are dividing. And then you said that we are paying dividing.
Okay.
Himself is paying a divided policy right now there. He's stopping people, he's stopping children. When you want to teach math, science and normal subjects in madrasa, why do you need to have a religious institution? Why can't you send your children in normal schools and teach Islam at home?
Okay.
It's easier.
And, as it was said, that every Muslim child should have a computer in one hand and a Quran in the other. The school gets the computer. Can the Quran be taught at home? We're going to leave it to you. Thank you very much, all gentlemen. Nikat Abbas for joining me.